Welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic.
Oh my God, are you seeing this shit, bro? Tesla closed at $695. What the hell is going on?
Brad and Fat Man Zoom are here to help you own it.
Now with IBM getting here, I think it's just going to come more to the forefront and people are going to get more and more eyeballs on Salesforce. Should see a really nice move.
Taking it to the suits, being relatable and hilarious.
We got D's nuts in the crew. Every crew needs D's nuts. You know what D's nuts' number one holding is? Big C.
Get ready to own the chaos in 3, 2, 1.
What up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. My name is Brad, and that guy over there is Fat Man Zoom. I keep switching directions. Welcome to Own the Chaos. The stock market is crazy and chaotic. We've made it our mission to help you own it. Fat Man Zoom, what is up, my man?
What's going on, man? Airbnb's up, IPO's up,
Everything
IPOD's up, and IPOF is up. Those are the three that's up.
It seems like everything's up right now. You know what else is up? The stock that shall not be named is up today.
Is it?
It's back over $20.
Woo, baby!
Rocket is finally starting to make some sort of moves.
I had no idea.
Yeah, Rocket's finally starting to make some moves as well. I actually have plans to potentially get back into Square. It's starting to get back down to a price where I am loving it. So stay tuned. I might actually make that trade while we're live. So stick around for that. But what are we really talking about today, Fat Man Zoom?
So today we are talking about the top stocks for a Biden presidency. So this was interesting because we put a poll out on our Discord. Shout out to the Chaos Crew Discord for our members.
Yeah.
And we threw that in there, and I actually didn't think it would perform well because we did stocks for if Trump would win, if Biden would win, and if Kanye would win. Kanye didn't win. And so I thought, well, this might be redundant. But I guess now that we know some executive orders, we know it's officially him. Yeah. It seems like there's still interest in it. So we're going to talk about that. But first, I want to shout out our first five. We got Vinay, Oliver, Jesus Calles Rodriguez, Andre, Arsalan. And I'm going to throw in number 6, Boogaloo Brown, just because I love that name so much. Yeah, so let's talk about that. So yesterday, obviously, Biden got inaugurated. Yep. He is our 46th president.
Yes.
And my man went right to work. Any surprises? And beyond that, what do you think is going to happen? Let's just get right into the stocks you think could potentially move.
Yeah, no surprises to me. I think everything was pretty much expected. The only thing that I wish that would have been addressed, and I know it's going to be addressed soon, but I wish it would have taken a little bit more of a priority, was like the small business side of things. We're still kind of waiting on stimulus, and word kind of came out that stimulus could still be pushed back to March. So I was a little bit let down by that, but everything else was kind of not really much of a surprise. And really, I mean, we're starting to see a lot of these move off, renewable energy and that sort of thing. We'll get into what I think is probably going to be the best one to get into renewable energy. But let's start off with e-commerce, because I think e-commerce is going to continue to do really, really well under a Biden presidency. The digitization of just commerce in general. I still think, and you and I have had this conversation, that, e-commerce in general is still in its infancy, if you can believe that. I mean, we talked about how just last year, only about 14% to 17% of all retail shopping was done online. And that's a staggering number, especially considering everything that's gone on. So I think that we could see a lot of these e-commerce stocks move up considerably. Obviously, we love Amazon, but the one that I'm going to lean on the most, even though it's up this high, is Etsy. I love Etsy. I think 2021 is still going to be a rocking year for Etsy and e-commerce in general.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I do love Etsy. I'll throw out 2. We've said time and time again, we don't give love to Shopify.
Yeah.
Shopify, I think Shopify is slowly becoming one of those stocks that deserves a place in your long-term portfolio. And then the other one, shout out to my man Vinay, he's in the house. But
shout out Vinay.
Big C.
Oh yeah, Big C had a big old boner today.
Yeah, and we talked about it when it almost broke all-time lows about a month ago, And we were still confident in it. We said it might take time. It actually came back quicker than possible.
Yeah.
But it is because of this e-commerce opportunity. But it came to fruition. Like, this isn't it for Big C. I think Big C is a great, great company. And you guys already know. Love me some Big C.
That's right. So looking at the chart here, it's actually breaking up and out. We go back and look at the 4-hour chart. It's at 72.46. It's up 15% today just on some of this Biden news. And look at this. I mean, well up above its resistance at 69.70. And I think that, bro, this thing could continue to go up into its new resistance. We got not new resistance, but another resistance here at around $74 a share. Gets above that, this thing could keep rolling. This just shows me that there's a lot of volume here, but it's not a ton. And they had an offering and all that good stuff. I think the offering didn't really hurt them all that much. The share structure seems nice and small, relatively speaking, and hasn't taken a whole lot of buying to really kind of get this thing moving. And we saw how it moved last go around. I think there's definitely potential for this to do it again.
Yeah, you're going to hear this, I think, today as common theme, which is, when everybody else is fearful, everybody else is freaking out.
Yeah.
Trust your due diligence, believe in the stock, and be smart. I'm not saying just hold the bag, but there's other examples like this where fundamentally there was nothing wrong. Yes, there was an offering, but outside of that, there's huge upside. And if you just pay attention to what's going on, Big C makes so much sense as far as a niche that needs to be filled alongside Shopify and Etsy. Like these all can live together. So I like what they do. They're complementary to what's going on. Could this break 100 this year? Potentially.
I think so. Yeah, for sure. We're only about 30% away from there.
What's the next one we got?
So the next, industry or sector that I really wanted to talk about was the reopening. And there's plenty of areas that you could go into. I know AMC is going off like crazy. That's the last stock that I want to be in. I don't want to have anything to do with AMC or any of those other ones, but I really am interested to see how Airbnb fares in 2021. With the reopening, I think a lot of people want to try to lean on hotels and that sort of thing, and I'm sure they will do fine. Airlines too, but I think that Airbnb probably has the biggest area for opportunity and I remember you saying this when they first IPO'd, that the bar was set kind of low because of everything that had happened in 2020, and then they IPO'd at the perfect time. So if they can compare their year-to-year gains from last quarter and how they've been able to grow after being publicly traded, I think that they're going to just absolutely crush it. Not only because they were favorable, places to stay during I guess some of the lockdown and even now, when things start to open them back up, Airbnb is just going to absolutely crush it, and that's why I love them over all the other ones.
Yeah, when we talk about earnings, a lot of it is about year-over-year growth and showing that growth, and that's why we're anticipating this next earnings simply because, and really it's the next two earnings simply because some companies had some monster growth and we know they can't sustain that same growth because, something like Zoom, this only happens one time. And so, well, we hope it only happens one time.
Yeah, right. Fingers crossed.
But Airbnb had the opposite situation. So I think that you should see some massive growth. And what people really want to hear, not just growth, is that bookings are going up. And I think that the advantage this company has, as opposed to flights, I think flights, there's still going to be some hesitancy around taking flights. People are itching to get out.
Yeah.
People are itching to move.
Right.
And not move, but make moves and do something. And so the people that fly to another country or another state, Airbnb benefits. The people that decide for something a little bit more local that they can drive to, Airbnb benefits off of this. So I think no matter what the given situation, I think there's some pent up demand as far as travel is concerned, and Airbnb is going to be one of the bigger benefactors of that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think I still haven't touched it, and part of me has a little bit of FOMO, but I still also think that I would much rather wait till after their earnings, their first earnings come out. And also I want to see what that lockup looks like. So I'm still just trying to hold out for that. But man, it does sting a little bit to know that I'm kind of missing out a little bit on this run. I'm not going to lie.
There'll be those opportunities. We'll get that opportunity.
I know. So the next area, and I feel like I've talked about this ad nauseum, but we haven't talked about it in a while, and that's remote work. When at the height of the Rona, I had been talking about remote work like crazy, and I feel like I've kind of not talked about it as much because of so many other things that have been going on in big tech. But when you look at Zoom, CrowdStrike, and even Salesforce, I think these companies in cloud computing, cybersecurity, and really in the video conferencing and business solutions and that sort of thing are going to still just be absolutely massive in 2021. And we've talked about this. Remote work isn't going anywhere. I mean, you and I are got the studio on the cheap, really because nobody's coming back to commercial real estate. And I'm sure that there will be a certain level of that, but it's not going to be anything like it was before. And I think we're going to continue to see people adopt remote work even more so in 2021 as a way to do business moving forward.
Yeah, this just exposed the biggest opportunity in business, which I think is an idea of like results-oriented work. You don't have to micromanage everybody.
Yeah.
Silicon Valley's been really onto this trend, but a lot of people have been slow in adopting it. This sort of forced them to adopt it and understand, hey, this could be used to our advantage. And so why not? Now, the other thing to consider, and Facebook's probably the first one to figure this out, is your talent pool opens up.
Right.
So now if you offer remote positions, you're not just beholden to the people in this, like in the area of where you have a headquarters or an office. You can get anybody you want. Internationally, you could theoretically get anybody you want.
Right.
And I think when you start looking at the pros versus the cons, remote work makes sense to stay. Zoom should continue to benefit. Peloton should be great. And speaking of an IPO, we haven't really talked about it yet, but I just want to shout it out before everybody else starts going crazy with it. Affirm. Wait. Affirm is going to be bananas this year. Mark my words.
Elaborate on that a little bit. Why do you like Affirm so much?
Yeah, so for those who don't know what Affirm is the company that allows lending services primarily for I think they're just online. So they're an online lender, but they offer interest-free loans. So their biggest client is Peloton. I think about 30% of their revenue comes from Peloton. And essentially Peloton, it allows you to purchase a high-ticket item over the course of 1, 2, 3 years. You kind of get your choice. They benefit because they get a cut of the sale, right?
Yeah.
Peloton benefits because they get more people converting because they might not be able to afford a $2,000 bike, a $5,000 treadmill. Now you can buy it for $30, $40 a month. And you benefit because it's zero interest loan.
Right.
So why wouldn't you do it?
Yeah.
I think they're going to add more clients. You're going to see more of the options when you buy bigger ticket items online for Affirm to be the option. But they should just benefit off of Peloton's growth. And as more people figure it out, hey, if I sell something for a couple $1,000s and I can get more people to buy it, zero interest loan, that's the way to go. I think it's a great business model.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the chart here, it went crazy on its first couple of days of IPO and has cooled off some. It almost looks like it's ready to start to make a move back forward. I like this play too, man. I think that it could definitely continue to do well. But with this pullback, it seems like it's at a really good spot. Now, obviously, it's only just started trading, so we don't have a whole lot to go off of as far as the chart's concerned, and we can take a look at that here. But it seems as if this is coming down to a point to where I consider this, at the very least, a short-term buy, but also could continue to do well for the remainder of the year.
Bro, you read my mind. I feel the same way. I think, and there's no basis on this. I actually wanted your opinion on it.
Yeah.
But when we don't have enough historical data as far as like a stock hasn't been public for long enough, I'm falling back on kind of like psychological supports and resistances.
Yeah.
So I feel like $100 may be an interesting psychological support. And so for me, trying to be a little rip off Rita, but I have an order in for 103.50.
Yeah.
We'll see if it trips, but I'm trying to play one of my short-term asymmetrical trades, shout out on this. But I agree with you. I think it's coming to that level, and I expect that 100 to act as a support because there's no other basis on it. And I think that'll get people amped up. We'll see what happens moving forward. And honestly, again, Peloton's going to impact this. So if Peloton crushes earnings, this one should move with it.
Yeah, I agree. Looking at before we get into a couple more, got 212 of you guys hanging out here. We certainly appreciate you hanging out. If you could give us a thumbs up, we certainly would appreciate the support. Also, if you want more of Own the Chaos, I'm going to put the link in the chat here. Go check out ownthechaos.com. You can get a free watch list from us. Also, all kinds of other goodies. If you're interested in joining the Chaos Crew, you can get access to our Discord platform, trade alerts, all that good stuff. Find out exactly what we're trading, when we're trading it in that Discord room. If you guys want to be a part of that Chaos Crew, check out the link in the chat. I'll put it in the description as well. I forgot to put it in there. But if you want to be a channel member as well, feel free to do that. The join button is next to subscribe. Would love to have you guys as a part of the crew. All right. So next one for me, the next sector, industry, whatever you want to call it, is renewable energy. And I kind of lumped EVs in this as well. When you look at renewable energy and EVs, Tesla's it. I feel as if, this definitely is a dead horse that we continually beat, but there's plenty of other renewable energy stocks that are out there. We could talk about Plug Power. We could talk about Sunrun. We could talk about a lot of them. But I think when you look at Tesla, it's almost like Tesla is all of that wrapped into one. And so I think that they're just going to continue to do well. We are seeing that Tesla is also starting to move into India. So if we get more developments as far as that's concerned this year, which I think we will, Tesla's going to continue to roll. $1,000 is on the horizon for Tesla, and I think we get there in the early part of 2021 yet still.
Yeah, this earnings is next week for Tesla, the 27th.
Yeah.
And this is going to be interesting because I expect it to run up into earnings. I think you do as well.
Yep.
My knee jerk says it's got to sell off. These situations, there's typically some profit taking.
Yeah.
Doesn't change how I feel over a long term. But I am wondering how many people are just sticking with this stock no matter what. So it should be interesting how that plays out. I don't know if people are just waiting around for earnings, but here's one thing to consider. I agree with everything you're saying as far as their exposure, and they're only going to continue to create opportunities. And with Elon Musk being a visionary, who knows what else is in the pipeline. But here's what I think is most important since we're talking about a Biden presidency. The U.S. wants to establish itself as the world leader. They want to be in that number one position. It's arguable if they still are, they aren't. It is what it is. But the point is that they want to be number one. Well, we want to be number one. And Tesla helps them move forward that agenda.
Yeah.
So whatever you can do, Tesla has great relations with China. Obviously, they have great exposure in China. EV is huge. It's already an important part of the conversation for Biden. He is getting back into the Paris Accord agreement, which I think he already did.
Yeah,
if he didn't yet, he's going to.
Yeah, he signed the executive.
So global impact's really important. And Elon's got a place at the table as far as that conversation is concerned. So, multinational companies is really what makes this world move, whether you like to admit it or not.
Yeah.
And so if you're the U.S., you want to do everything you can to make sure that Tesla stays number one. And I think that they're going to continue to do credits. They're going to offer more credits, and they're going to incentivize Tesla to continue to expand around the world.
Yeah, I agree 100%. There's definitely some runners up. And one other thing that I'll say just about EVs in general, it just came out, news just came out last night, that in, it's Norway. So Norway just eclipsed. They're selling more EVs than they are any other vehicle. So there was a chart that I had actually seen where the EVs finally just eclipsed internal combustion vehicles for the first time. So they're selling more EVs in Norway. Usually you'll start to see the rest of Europe follow suit with things like that. It's interesting. I mean, we already saw that Britain said that by 2035 2024, I believe. They there will be no more internal combustion engine vehicles being sold there. So just really interesting stuff, man. There's no reason why I would want to sell Tesla anytime soon, and definitely one to keep in your core group of stocks for the foreseeable future. And people can argue that this thing is a bubble and that it continues to go up and one of these days it's going to crash. I just don't know if that's going to happen. And I don't even know if anybody cares if it grows into its valuation for another 20, 30 years, because they just know where this is headed.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Other things too, GM, Ford, even though that they won't be catching up to Tesla, they are 100% on board with converting everything to EV. We saw that, basically with GM and their Cadillac dealers, they said either you're on with us on EV or you're not. And if you're not, we'll throw money at you to just get you out of our hair. So I think that there's definitely other ones to go after. We've already seen Ford and GM move up too, but I think that they'll continue as well. If you guys aren't too keen on Tesla, there's definitely other options. Those are two that I think would also be a good play as well, as far as looking at EVs. I know that everybody's kind of got their eyes on the ones that have kind of been in our face all the time, Neos and that sort of thing. But let's not forget that GM and Ford have plenty of money to spend, and they have years and years of experience just in selling automobiles. So, and they've taught us time and again that they know how to pivot. They know how to do all this stuff. So I don't think that this is going to be too much of a stretch for them to continue to survive throughout all this, even when they make the switch to electric vehicles, man.
Yeah, even when you talk about niche products, when you talk about pickup trucks, yes, Tesla's getting a Cybertruck. But when you think about how much of our country is blue collar, you think about the Rust Belt, they're not buying a Tesla. Doesn't matter what it looks like.
Right.
So there's a huge contingency that just pickup trucks as an example, and somebody's got to fill that void. It will not be Tesla. And so while they may not see the ridiculous growth that Tesla will see, there's room for them. And it'll just depend kind of how long things get moving and really the quality of the product when it comes out. But I agree with you. I think they're both in play.
Yeah. If I look at going back to Tesla, we look at the chart here. I have it pulled up, and it's been pretty sideways over the last week or so. Look for this to actually start to make some moves. If we can get this to move back up over, I would say 875. I think we start to make some really nice moves going into next week. As we stated before, earnings are on the 27th of next week, so I'd say it's a no-brainer that this is going to be on the watch list for Stock Watch Sunday. So hate to ruin the suspense there, but I think you probably already knew that was coming anyways. So the next one for me is going to be housing, and I think that housing is going. And we talked about this, when we were trying to determine who was actually going to be president, and we came out with our list for Biden versus Trump. I actually like housing no matter what, but definitely for in a Biden presidency. And we talked about this within our Chaos Crew, our level 3 Chaos Crew folks, about how Biden signed the executive order for $15,000 in assistance for new home buyers. And we already saw DHI, some of these other ones moving really well. DHI, DR Horton, is still my favorite home building related stock, but there's so many other great ones as well. Restoration Hardware, Home Depot, which was on the Chaos Crew watch list today. I just think that there's so much in the housing industry. Just make sure, I don't know if it really matters. You could throw a dart at this point. Just make sure it's a good company to get into. Look at, make sure it has a good balance sheet, but in this space, I still do like DR Horton a ton.
Yeah, I really like DR Horton too. You brought that to my attention for sure. It wasn't even on my radar.
Yeah.
When we brought it to the watch list. To take a step back, you guys that are watching, I want you to understand that the way we try to build this channel is really about empowering you to be able to be an active investor, because it's really, even though there's a lot of noise and it can get chaotic, it's kind of straightforward and simple when you break it down. And one of the biggest lessons I think that could be taught with this whole situation is just pay attention. Like it's just, sometimes it's very simple. So this is an example of how simple it is. You have the answer right in front of your face. What's the issue with housing right now? It's demand.
Yeah.
Sorry, not demand.
It's the supply. Yeah. I got you.
And so if the issue is supply, you have a home builder.
Right.
What's the only way to get supply? You either get people to sell their homes, which is a challenge, or you build more homes. this is one of those situations that in my mind feels just so straightforward and obvious. And it is, and sometimes it feels so easy, but it's that easy.
Yeah.
There's a supply issue. Home builders will be able to fill that void. And so I love being a part of home builders. The other part of this is the incentive, the $15,000 homeowners tax credit for first-time home buyers. So Obama did the same thing right after 2008, where basically he offered $8,000 down payment assistance for first-time home buyers. It was a different situation. I don't think it makes a ton of sense as far as like that doesn't address the supply issue, but it's a great move.
Yeah.
When supply comes, it'll keep demand high. And so $15,000, are you kidding me?
Right.
On top of stimulus potentially coming down the road, I think that Rocket's still on the table for me. I know you guys are probably tired of it, but here's the reality. It's in our long-term portfolio. I'm not just going to sell a stock just because it's boring me.
Yeah.
On a long-term perspective, we're willing to wait this out the whole year because we feel that strongly about housing. So let's see. But DHI is a great call. I still think Rocket's at just ridiculous levels.
It doesn't make sense as to why it's down here, and I agree. And you've had a couple analysts come out and still be bearish on this, and I'm just like, why? Why are you downgrading it? It makes no sense. And obviously, you can make arguments that they have ulterior motives. In most cases, they do. But yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't add up. And if you're going to be having more people come in to finance homes, especially first-time home buyers, they're going to go to Rocket because most of them are going to be young people who know Rocket, and they want to be able to do everything digitally. Rocket is the best company to do that with. So I'm not selling it either. I'm going to continue to hold on to this thing. I know that it's boring, but I just don't care. Anything under $20 is a steal, in my opinion. It's going to move. And let's not forget, they're also buying $1 billion worth of stock back, and that still hasn't taken place yet. So be on the lookout for that in 2021 as well. The other ones, I see a couple people maybe have some hesitation on DHI. That's fine. KBH is another one. KB Home had earnings, and this was featured on Stockwatch Sunday 2 Sundays ago. They had amazing earnings and have gone up ever since. So this is actually a little bit too high in my opinion. I think it does need to cool off some, which is why I still even like DR Horton, because it has yet to have broken over key resistances, which one of them here is right around $77, $78 a share. But get that above that, then maybe we can start to see this really break out. But KBH is already too high for me. I think that DR Horton's still the better play here. And that's it. That's all the sectors I have. Did you have any other particular stocks in general that you just kind of wanted to speak on?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about healthcare. So I wanted, Clover's been one we've really been bullish on. That was IPOC. It reverse merged into Clover Health.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great opportunity. I think that also is at kind of stupid levels. A side note, not necessarily about this, but we were talking about IPOF. I know you had mentioned you heard rumors about Lucid potentially being the partner, and I forgot this. And somebody earlier, I wish I saw who it was. Somebody earlier actually mentioned it. We also heard rumors that Stripe as well could be IPOF.
Yes.
So either one of those, Stripe would be huge, Lucid would be monstrous. But I just wanted to point that out as well.
Yeah. Shoot, man. IPOF is at new highs, by the way. I just happened to look at it as you were mentioning it. It is at $15.93 a share. This is crazy. New highs, new all-time highs for IPOF. We called this out back, I don't know, a couple weeks ago now, man. It is just rolling. This feels so good. I hope it continues, but man, social capital, that's where it's at. Chamath is the freaking man at this point. I am dancing in my seat. This is awesome.
So Raylan Record says IPOF hints about something coming down the pipeline. Chamath said best SaaS company I've ever seen is related to the platform's purpose. We'll see what happens, but I recently just saw a video about the IPO plays.
Yeah.
I think eventually people start figuring it out.
Yeah.
But for us, right now we have IPO, we have Clover, we have IPOD, we have IPOF, and it feels like it's, I don't want to jinx it, but it feels it's kind of easy money on this thing. I think eventually people figure this out.
IPOF just broke $16. This thing continues to roll, man. Yeah, bro. I think so. Look, I'm going to ride this wave for as long as it lasts. You know, as long as these IPOs keep printing money, I'm going to keep buying. And then once it stops, then I'm done buying it. But until that train is done rolling, you know, I'm just going to keep on keeping on with it. If it's going to print me money, then I'm all about it.
Yeah, at some point the institutions are going to figure that out, but it's crazy how textbook these plays are coming. We have the $10 level, the $15 level, the 20 and the 40. It's kind of like stepping.
Right.
But it's really crazy. Chamath, I'm actually, people are saying that on Twitter, Chamath is talking about some things.
He's been real cryptic on Twitter lately with a lot of things, so we'll see.
Yeah, so this was a tweet from 2 hours ago. Chamath said, I'm finalizing an investment in ... and we'll be leading their pipeline, so it soon will be public. Best SaaS company I've ever seen invested in. And as a public company, it will compete per the table below. And it has Snowflake, Twilio, Splunk, Zoom, Fastly as a comparison. So it's saying it's like right up there.
Yeah.
This is, bro, I might be increasing my position.
Are you watching this right now? 1621 now, all-time highs on IPOF. This is absolutely insane. Wow.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm blown away right now. Well, I think that's a good place to end it. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. If you guys want to be a part of our Chaos Crew stream that we'll be doing in an hour, we actually have Intel earnings, a couple of other earnings plays that are going to be happening after hours. If you guys want to be part of that and get our live reactions, make sure you're joining the Chaos Crew again at ownthechaos.com. If you guys want to go there, at the very least, if you just want our free watch list that we put out every single morning before the market opens, go there and sign up for our email list. We'd be happy to have you guys as a part of the crew. You can also be part of levels 1, 2, and 3. Those will get you access to our Chaos Crew private live streams, and we hope to see you guys there at 3:30 p.m.
our
Eastern
Discord.
Time. And our Discord, yes, our Discord as well. Sorry. But yeah, so thanks guys so much for tuning in. If you don't mind on your way out hitting that thumbs up, we certainly would appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, please consider doing so as well. That's going to do it for me, Fat Man Zoom.
Guys, anybody in the crew, this is your last chance to vote for the video that we're going to be recording after this. So go to the community tab if you want to cast your vote on what we're going to record.
Sounds good. Well, thanks guys so much for tuning in. We will catch you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.